What is up, everybody? This is Stephen Breach coming to you here today. I am driving home from work today on Labor Day. We are all out of the big wrestling weekend with All Out, as well as WWE Payback. Easily the biggest news of the week is CM Punk being terminated, as the words that Tony Khan used in his press release from AEW. And there's a lot of people out there. I can't even really tell if they're questioning it, whether CM Punk will now make a return to WWE. Honestly, I think at this place right now, I think that CM Punk is like so radioactive. I don't even think Impact, if they were able to get on the same page, I don't even think the Impact roster would want to bring him in to try and give that promotion a little bit of a boost. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't want to repeat too much of the stuff in the video that I made the other day where I was an idiot and I uploaded it as WWE had released CM Punk, because that was what was on my brain, I guess, at the time. Still not used to typing AEW after all these years. But I don't know. I just don't get it. I know that they're going through a little bit of a transition period, but as of right now, he's not on the board, but I'm pretty sure Triple H is the guy running most of the things, while Vince McMahon is out on leave from his back surgery. And I just think there's the cast of characters that run the WWE locker room don't want CM Punk, this poison, injected into the roster, whether if it's on Raw, whether if it's on SmackDown. I don't even think that NXT would give the guy a chance. Things are running so well right now that I don't think he would be able to gel there. I don't know of any huge outbursts that Punk had in WWE while he was there, other than just one day just up and leaving. I think we knew through like interviews and things like that Punk wanted to make WWE a better place. I'm sure at the same time he wanted to make AEW a better place. One thing I can remember more than anything else from CM Punk's run in WWE is when he got really hot around 2012. He was on the ESPN Bill Simmons' podcast. And to me, honestly, that was a real big deal. Bill Simmons is a guy from Boston. He now, I'm pretty sure, works in Los Angeles. He's well known in the sports world. He loves professional wrestling himself, but he doesn't do a lot of like talking about wrestling on his podcast like Pat McAfee does or anything like that. And he brought CM Punk in because he thought that he was, going to be the guy that pushed it to the next level. He was saying at that time he wanted to make professional wrestling cool again. And that was the one thing that hit a notch with me. And I was like, yeah, I dig that. I want to be able to go to work and talk about wrestling. I want it to be like what it was during the like the NWO days, I guess you can say. Most people call that, I guess you could say, the Attitude Era. I knew that somewhere in the early 90s, when I was going through grade school, people that I used to talk to about wrestling, whether if it was like Earthquake and Hulk Hogan and guys like that, I think I have big memories about that because I used to wrestle this guy in the sandbox named Ron Surtzer, and he would be Earthquake and I would be Hulk Hogan. When he used to sit on my chest, that shit used to really hurt, honestly, to say the truth. But I remember, it faded out, and I didn't really have anybody to talk to about wrestling. But I remember when I got to high school, Nitro came to town. I didn't get to go to that show because I was a freshman, and there was no chance in the world my mom was going to take me to wrestling. But I remember that one time she caught me watching wrestling, and she just kind of looked at me and was like, "You still do this? Like, you still watch this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I love it." But Yeah, I remember looking at the guy in my PE class. He was wearing a Four Horsemen shirt that he had bought the night before. And I was like, you like wrestling? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I think we're best friends now. We did not become best friends. But, you know, that's just the way it goes. And, you know, it got to the point when everybody was wearing Austin shirts. Everybody was wearing NWO shirts. I would love for that to happen again. But, I don't know. It'd be a long jump. I know that, I think someday with this merger, I thought that, you know, they had already, you know, sold a portion of the company. But I guess it's still in the works. Someday, I guess somebody else is going to have the most say in WWE. Maybe it happens. I do know this. What I texted my buddy Mike, who's the one guy I think of as the biggest CM Punk fan I know. I told him, at least you won't have to live with the doubts that, you know, what if he would have came back? You got to see him come back. You got to see what happened. You got to see for a good portion that he could still do it. And you won't have that, like, doubt in your mind for the rest of your life. Like, that, like, your favorite guy was wasted. He got to see he didn't really work in today's wrestling that well. He couldn't find a way to gel. And, you know, maybe 3 years down the road, the way wrestling is these days, Punk will still have some gas in the tank. You see a lot of legends out there. You see guys like Christian, who just got re-upped on his deal. Edge, who looks like he's going to be going to AEW sooner than later. You know, they can be used in a way that they're still a big deal. They're still mainstream. They're still like, they could be like in that picture of the main event, but not have to be each and every week and, you know, just getting killed in the ring to where their body just breaks down and they can never do it again. Takes them a little while to shape it back up after a big match, but you know, it's not going to kill them. But, you know, maybe 3 years down the road, people are going to be just begging and asking, like, well, when is he coming back? Maybe they'll be wanting him to come back to AEW. Maybe he can find a way to get a cast of friends together to kind of, like, you know, smooth everything over. I know as of right now, like, him and the Elite don't really click. They're not really on the same page, but you can see the storyline for AEW was supposed to be Punk versus Omega somewhere down the road. I'm guessing that Omega would be the guy to beat MJF. I don't see the storyline with Punk drawing the X on the belt not being after going after the belt, and we had no interaction with MJF, so I don't really know how that was going to work. But the second Punk drew the X on the belt and said that he was the real world's champion, he was trying to draw it to there, and I don't see him getting to keep coming out with the belt with the X on there if Tony didn't want him to do that. So there had to be something coming together with them all on the same page, working together. But it might take some time, but no doubt their lines are going to cross somewhere along the line. Punk's not just going to stay at home and never leave the house again. He's going to still go out and do convention-y kind of things, and have his face out there, whether if it's comic books, whether if it's trying to do the pro wrestling kind of deal. I don't know if he's going to go out and do car shows or anything like that, but the C2E2s, Comic-Cons, I'm sure he's one of the biggest names that draws people to give their money to him and stuff like that. So that's still going to be there, but, you know, maybe he can find a way to be like, hey, we need this guy back. But as of right now, CM Punk working a match at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia? Ha! No chance in hell. Write that down. No way in the world I see that happening. I don't think so.